So many of you were not excited about the Secretary of Education, Betsy DeVos, appointment to the Trump campaign, and I don't blame you because I wasn't excited about it either. She was a prime example of what happens when you have money and you want a position. And yes, you can buy a position in American politics. So that's what happened with Betsy DeVos. I've been critical of her in the past. That will probably continue due to her choices and policies. Not because I don't like her personally. Of course I love super rich, the mega rich, the plutocrats. Of course I love them. What's there not to love? So Betsy DeVos was at a graduation ceremony at Bethune-Cookman, and she was booed. The school's president, Edison Jackson, had to pause the ceremony about 1 minute into Ms. DeVos's address to tell the crowd of students, "If this behavior continues, your degrees will be mailed to you." Why were people so upset with Betsy DeVos? Well, above the jeers, Ms. DeVos delivered the standard exhortation to graduates to live a life full of service with courage and grace in the spirit of their school's namesake. You know, the typical boilerplate, everybody do well, good luck to you in the real world, have at it. Have at it. But the problem was this. There were critics of Ms. DeVos who pointed to missteps from the outset of her tenure. From her offices misspelling the name of W.E.B. Du Bois, or Du Bois, in an attempted attribute to a statement that she issued calling segregation-era historically black colleges and universities pioneers of school of choice. Okay? The gaffes, coupled with President Trump's seemingly wavering support of black higher education and a strained relationship with African Americans, made Ms. DeVos an especially prickly choice. Okay, so enough of that. Let me put this in a nutshell for all my people watching, because what I've been seeing is my brothers and sisters on the right, and look, it's not about labels, but I don't know what news sources they're watching. And maybe some folks on the left are covering, and I don't know what news sources you're watching if you're on the left. Here's the deal. Betsy DeVos brought a position, and she purchased that position with donations over a course of time to the Republican Party. That is why Betsy DeVos is in her position. This is not a good thing, nor should people defend her because of that. Her being a woman is beside the point. A man buying a position is a horrible thing if you're not totally qualified for the position. So unfavorable people who get positions, particularly those people who use money and power to obtain these positions who don't have the qualifications, are going to lead to a backlash. The students at that school had every right to boo Ms. DeVos. It is a freedom of expression. No cheers were thrown, no fires were set. You just don't like that they treated her mean. Now, why would they do this to this woman? Why would they heckle Ms. DeVos? Why would these people, on a very happy day, and happy day of graduation, you're reaching a milestone in your personal life, this is huge, right? Why would you be upset? So upset that you would let it end on a down note. Here's why. Why is because Betsy DeVos has pushed through implemented a change that will affect borrowers of money, removing caps on lenders to schools. This directly impacts these students. And not only does it impact these students, it impacts further students, future students. Betsy DeVos lifted the cap on how much lenders could charge students for repayments of loans. This is a direct conflict of what we need and the austerity situation that we have going on in America. Now, for all the people who have very high criticism of these students for booing Ms. DeVos, saying they're not behaving themselves, they are being disrespectful and rude, I want to ask you a question. If someone was hired who you did not approve of, who you did not think was qualified to do the position that was going to affect your life, and then that person, when they get in, one of their first acts is to make life more expensive for you. Please do not tell me, my friends out there in West Virginia, my friends in North Carolina, my friends, whether you be from the Bible Belt, or you from the Rust Belt, or you just wear a belt, how would you react to that? Would you boo? And if you did choose to boo, would that make you a deplorable? No, it wouldn't. I would say that you would probably boo. You may even do a lot more. I know some good old boys in Carolina who don't play around when you mess with their money. And then you come give them some sappy boilerplate speech about take care of it and be good and go forth. And no, it's unacceptable. So I support the students' right to boo and turn their backs. I'm glad that's all they did. We need to make noise when we have these plutocrats installed in our democracy who underhandedly and with no shame implement policies that will hurt us. This is the part they're not reporting on Fox News, and I don't have to watch Fox News to know they're not reporting it this way. They're making Ms. DeVos a victim, when in fact she's creating victims. Ms. DeVos should have not been given that position. The only thing I can say in her defense is that she did not invite herself. She was invited to speak by, who are these people? Edison Jackson, the school president. So as much as you hate the player, you got to hate the game. But that does not nullify the students' ability to voice themselves vociferously and boo her ass. So I support it. I support it twice. I support it 6 days a week, twice on Sundays, and I will always support the people speaking up, because the more we speak up, the more they got to get up. I'm Tim Black for TBTV. Subscribe to this channel and let your voice be heard by calling into my Freedom Friday session where you have the microphone.